is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. So good to be sharing some energy with you tonight. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath. We're going to jump right into the title of the video. Chris Cuomo, Eclipses and Spiritual Alignment. Recently, in the last 24 minutes or so, it has been released that Chris Cuomo has been indefinitely suspended from CNN because of his involvement regarding his brother's case, which involved sexual harassment and a fair amount of family disgrace. These brothers come from an Italian family, strong, and they are aligned with themselves. They've often been considered a part of the Godfather trilogy, with right wingers kind of trolling Chris and calling him Fredo from that series, meaning the brother that messes up. Essentially, if you know, then you know. One of my favorite series. In any case, what I will tell you here is that Chris has a heavy weight to bear, but this began at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was watching it. Do you remember when the brothers ascended and everybody couldn't get enough of them and they were duetting and doing all that stuff regarding their teleconferences, and everybody loves the volley between those two? It reminded me of the moment that they had and of all the work that they both had to do. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. But let me explain. His brother Andrew did not feel like he deserved the slander. He felt like they were not putting respect on his name, but it was proven, obviously, that there were better things for him to be than in the position of governor, because he was not managing it with aplomb and with respect and dignity. Chris is a strategist and he involved himself. He is a Leo son. I have watched Chris's career for many years for some reason, and I always knew that he was a Leo son because I did watch his career and I researched it. A family man who keeps his family happily in the back and protects them, but definitely enjoys his energy of being at the forefront. There was a morning show that he was part of, and I knew that it wouldn't last because the dynamic of any Leo is to kind of put themselves first. That's the energy of Leo. I am. There is a high will there. But what happened right now is we went through some eclipse season recently. I believe in Taurus, which has to do about the things that we deeply feel and think, the things that make us feel grounded, and our emotions. Let me tie it together. At the beginning of the pandemic, Chris caught COVID and he was secluded to his basement. And the country was riveted as we watched this reporter report on his own experiences, on the days when it sounded like he couldn't breathe, to the days when we were sure that he wanted to leave Earth. And then he verbalized and vocalized it. See, our word is our wand. It's an incredibly powerful thing. He said he no longer wanted to be a journalist, and the universe, being no respecter of persons, only hears our intention. And they said, your wish is our command. Now, it didn't happen immediately. Nothing ever goes as planned when we get involved with the universe and our own co creation. But Chris's his higher self had something to do. Whether you like CNN or you don't, no matter what political side you're on, take the spiritual lesson from it. He spoke words out of his mouth when he was in a vibration of being probably his most authentic. Because when you are in sickness, and God don't I know it, you get to the brass tacks of things. And he realized that that may not be his ultimate and most fulfilled dream. I have watched Chris avariciously chase his career, from being on Good Day, that Good Morning whatever show, to other little ancillary shows, to 48 hours and various things that he did host. He has climbed and climbed and climbed until his reputation did grow, until he was on the same plane as his brother, and we all had to know. But he said something, and I remember when he said it, looking into the camera, because they did a scramble after a PR scramble of how he was going to fix what he said. He went on podcasts and radio shows and talked about how he rather leave CNN dead and leave it in his dust. And the universe has answered just as such, and it came to fruition today. Eclipses end things. When we are in eclipse season, something that have been playing itself out for multiple seasons in our life will come to an abrupt end. Eclipses have a 6-month boomerang tail. That means that something that begins in an eclipse season may take 6 months to come to fruition, or the ending can come at any time. For Chris, his time was tonight, and it was divine, and it was divinely guided by his own higher self that said, I am ready to put this anchoring career on the shelf because I need to be more fulfilled. A near death experience will cause you to look and say, Maybe I don't like the things in my life that are coming my way and I want to change it. Whether Chris had a near death experience in its truest sense of the form, he had an ego death. And that's what's happening now in the 3D. He had the ego death in the 5D spiritually when he had COVID and he was so sick. And when he thought his family and everything, he would lose it. He decided and got clear about what was important to him. Right now, he is suffering a moment of shame. Any Leo does not want to go down in this kind of pain. And Chris Cuomo, like all Leos, God bless our souls, is also vain. Moment of clarity. Usually, being humbled causes us to see. We no longer grovel at what it means to be seen. I think Chris is coming to terms with that. I'm interested to see where his career will go. My prediction is that he will really get rooted and grounded and figure out what he wants and what new seeds he wants to sow. But if he's bemoaning and saying, oh, woe is me, he knew that he had a moral responsibility, as he does espouse nightly, or he did, I should say, on his show. He had a lot of moral turpitude and opinions about how we all should be and what a good person is and isn't, but he bent that. He bent the fabric and the will of the universe because he decided to play a position for his brother that was out of line. It wasn't out of line because I said so. It was out of line because the universe has orchestrated it that he is no longer there. And he could not imagine, with all his beautiful curly hair, that he would not be a top dog in that position. After all, he had scrapped and scratched to get there. But he was talking to the universe when he could barely breathe air last year in the pandemic in his basement. And he said, I don't want to be here anymore. And the universe says, we have heard, and we shall make it be so. Your wish is our command. And now we will see Chris Cuomo actually grow. Use the power of eclipses to release things in your life that no longer serve you. Write down your affirmations of what you would like to see and be. Release the old patterns and the bitterness and the pain and the things that held you down and the people that wouldn't put respect on your name, and give it to yourself. Eclipses are very powerful. They have a way of wiping out whatever doesn't serve you. And no matter what Chris felt about his career and the prestige that came along with it, for whatever reason, that was no longer the place for him to sit. The universe has work for him to do, and now he will get to the nitty gritty of becoming a better him. And that's what eclipses are there for. They challenge you to become a better you. I don't know why they wanted me to talk to you about that. Maybe someone gets something out of it. So good to share some energy with you. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.